Now, if you recently went through a total knee replacement and you are struggling with your sleep, then stay tuned because in today's video, I wanted to share with you my top favorite tips on how you can get a better night's rest. My name is Dr. Mike and I'm a physical therapist providing tips on how to build strength and longevity with your body. Now, one of the most common problems that I hear my patients deal with after a total knee replacement is they struggle to get a good night's rest. And the reason why this is so important is because not only will it affect your healing and your recovery, but will also increase your perception of pain. That's right, you heard it well. If you're not getting a good night's rest, your pain will more than likely be higher than what you would like it to be. So in today's video, I want to go over 6 of my favorite tips that I give to my patients to allow them to get great sleep. Now, before we get into this video, I wanted to make sure that if you are new to this channel, welcome. Thank you for supporting and stopping by to check out this video. But if you are a returner, please do me a big favor and to support this channel, subscribe below. Now, let's get into the first tip that I have, and that is all about proper positioning. Now, most people think that there is a right way or a wrong way to sleep, and I'm here to tell you that in order to get optimal sleep, in order to get the best sleep possible, you have to sleep with whatever position that you normally sleep in. That sounds a bit crazy, but you have to find the most comfort that will allow you to lay down at night and get a good night's rest. So many patients will say, well, I'm not really a back sleeper. And then when they go to sleep with their new surgery, they sleep on their back thinking that they are gonna get a good night's rest. But if that means you are normally a side sleeper, make sure you are using optimal support, optimal pillows to allow you to sleep on your side, which is going to be more normal for you. Another thing to keep in mind with proper positioning is many of you are probably also using a foam wedge or even a lot of pillows to help bring up your leg and elevate it. And although this is very good for managing your swelling and managing your pain, when it comes to going to bed at night, you can definitely take this or remove this off from under the leg so that you can actually get a good night's rest. If you have used the wedge or if you used a lot of pillows underneath the leg, you know that not only is it going to help reduce your swelling, but it's also going to stretch out your leg with that straightened position. So if you really want to get a good night's rest, make sure you remove those during the nighttime so that you can actually rest and you're not feeling any sort of discomfort. Now, the second tip I have for improving your sleep after this procedure is limiting your fluids after 7 p.m. Now, if you're gonna focus on hydration, if you're focusing on getting in a lot of fluids throughout the day, that's totally fine, but you wanna do it early on versus waiting till after 7 or 8 p.m. because now this is going to increase your likelihood of having to get up in the middle of the night and use the restroom. Even if you're someone who uses stimulants like caffeine or alcohol, you definitely want to minimize using those things because they are gonna make you get up and have to use the restroom more often. Now, the next tip that we're gonna go over is optimizing your sleep environment to ensure that you can get a good night's rest. And we're talking about things like how dark is your room? Okay, if you have a lot of light coming through, it's going to be difficult for you to fall asleep. So you wanna make sure that if you need to use sunshades, that can be a great way to block out any light, as well as how cool is your room? If you are sweating or you are very hot, it's going to be a lot harder for you to fall asleep and to manage getting comfortable before you lay down. Another thing to think about is noises. You want to make sure that we're minimizing as much noises as possible and creating a nice quiet environment to make it peaceful for your mind to really rest at night. Now, the next tip that can be very helpful is ensuring that you are taking your pain medication at least an hour before you go to bed. This is going to allow the pain medication to be in your system as well as allow you to get great pain relief so you can work on falling asleep. Now, obviously, you're still following your doctor's prescription on specific intervals and specific dosages, but you can get creative and strategic about setting up those time frames to make sure that you can have some pain medications right before you go to bed. And often my patients have had great success with this. Now, the next tip that we're going to go over that I think can have a huge impact on your sleep, and many of you have probably heard this before, but that is minimizing any sort of technology right before you go to bed. So that means things like TVs, things like your iPads, or even your phones. These devices are going to keep your mind going. It's going to keep you thinking about what you need to get done on the next day. And if you really want to get a good night's rest, you want to do activities that are going to help you relax. So this is why I'm a big fan of journaling, writing your thoughts down for the day, or even reading. This can be a great way to help wind you down and get ready for sleep. Now, the last tip that we're going to go over that will allow you to get a better night's rest is getting in an extra mobility and flexibility session right before you go to bed. Many of my patients deal with stiffness and tightness, and that's one of the many reasons why they can't get comfortable at night. But if you can add in an extra session where you're working on your stretches right before you go to bed, this can be a great way to prevent any stiffness or discomfort that you're having in the knee, and that will allow you to really go to bed comfortably. There you have it, guys. Those are some of my favorite tips to help you get a better night's rest after a knee replacement. Now, if there are specific topics or questions that you'd like for me to cover in regards to this procedure, please comment below. In the meantime, to support this channel, you can subscribe below, and I'll see you in the next one.